Into our 10.5-hour flight to Paris, I couldn't help but catch Alfredo doing the head bob while he got in some Z's. Sweet dreams, my love, we're almost there. Aaah Paris! It's finally time to unlock the secrets why Paris has proclaimed its fame as the city of lights and love. So we are finally here. And where do we start? How about right in the center of Paris, at Luxembourg? Built in 1615, the Luxembourg Palace has been home to royalty and many politicians. Now it is the seat of the French Senate of the Fifth Republic. Luxembourg Gardens is the biggest park in Paris, covering 55.6 acres. It's famous for children playing with sailboats in the pond, 106 statues, the Monument to Medici fountain, and beautiful manicured French and English gardens. It's the perfect place to set your pace to take on Paris. The French are known for having a laid-back attitude to life, and they're very serious about their 2-hour lunch breaks. Stepping out into the streets of Paris, we couldn't help but take in its old world charm. And what better place to see historical old world charm is to venture out toward the Latin Quarter district, bringing us right to the Pantheon that sits atop Montagne Sainte-Geneviève. Walking up to the Pantheon, I couldn't help notice the similarities of the Pantheon in Rome. Originally, its construction was meant to be built as a church, but now it finally assumed its lasting role as a burial place for famous French heroes of poets, writers, and scientists. Inside feels very light and airy with beautiful tile floors and embellished decorated ceilings. A lot of sculptures and artwork displayed the French Revolution. Leading down a spiral staircase in the Pantheon's crypt are collections of hallways with stone tombs. Famous philosophers and Nobel Prize recipients have been laid to rest here. We head deeper into the quarter, a 2,000-plus-year-old diverse neighborhood and home to countless academic institutions. The quarter is mostly populated by youth, and where there's young students, there are bistros and inexpensive bars and restaurants. We found a great cafe to grab a snack with all my favorites: pâté, brie, salad, and wine. We passed Montaigne's sculpture and gave his foot a little rub for good luck. Now to finally address the popular question, why Paris is the city of lights and love. So we tried viewing the city by an evening cruise along the Seine River and underneath the city's ornate bridges. This relaxing ride was perfect for kissing and getting a spectacular, magical light show as the Iron Lady sparkles in the night. You can't argue the proclaimed fame she indeed holds. It's a good idea to learn how to use the metro while visiting Paris. With 301 stations, the metro is the most extensive underground transportation system in the world. You can get anywhere in Paris and beyond on the tracks. Seeing the Eiffel Tower at night was amazing. Now it's time to see her up close and personal during the day. And look at this. It's just breathtaking. The view from up here is iconic. Located at Champs de Mars, We get to admire the details of the city from above it all. Because 7 million people visit the Eiffel Tower every year, the lines can get crowded quick. We highly recommend purchasing in advance. Skip the line tickets. This is a huge time saver so we can enjoy more sightseeing. If we had known that this day was going to turn out as beautiful as it did, our relaxing stroll would have been more planned. I would have loved to pack a Parisian picnic basket full of cheese, fruit, and wine. Find a spot to sit with a blanket by the riverbank while watching the boats pass by. This answers yet another reason why Paris is so romantic. It seems that it's naturally in the air. Although we didn't pack a romantic picnic lunch, it wasn't hard to find a cafe nearby.
This does not taste like anything in the United States. This tastes completely different.
Born 1769 in Ajaccio, France, Napoleon Bonaparte was a charismatic emperor and a hero of France. At the age of 51, a stomach ulcer caused his death in 1821 and was buried on British-owned island of St. Helena under a pair of willow trees and 2 large flat stones. It took enormous effort and events in 1830 to finally bring Napoleon home. His last wish was to be buried by the banks of the Seine River, surrounded by the French people whom he loved so dearly. This monument is beautiful in every way. Magnificent murals and gold glimmering in the finest detail throughout the dome. It seemed very peaceful, and it had an aura of respect surrounding Napoleon and his tomb. This is definitely a must-see when visiting Paris. There is something about the Latin Quarter that kept drawing Alfredo and I back to explore more of one of the oldest Paris districts. It is very quirky, yet trendy, with beautiful architecture and endless bistros and delicacy shops. This is the place to bring your appetite and open your palate to a wide range of dishes. I couldn't come to Paris and not indulge in some escargot, cheese, and of course, French wine. It's really good. Ah, that was easier. Smells. They're delicious. Alfredo had a traditional French beef stew featuring old-fashioned vegetables. The Palace of Versailles, a symbol of power, beauty, and monarchy at its peak. King Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, transformed once a humble hunting lodge into a grand palace in 1682. Versailles, although not considered the world's largest palace, but it sprawls across 2,014 acres, including 230 acres of gardens. Inside the estate, we got to see the Hall of Mirrors, the King's State Apartments, and the Gallery of Great Battles. The Grand Trianon, a little palace of pink marble. Louis XIV had it built for his time away from his strenuous drama from the palace, and to pursue his affair with Madame de Montespan. During the reign of Louis XV, the Petit Trianon was built in 1768. After his death, it opened up the throne to young Louis XVI, crowning him and his new young wife, Marie Antoinette. After taking residence of the Petit Trianon, Marie Antoinette quickly remodeled the gardens and the Love Monument was built. The Queen's Hamlet created a rustic retreat for Queen Marie Antoinette, a private escape from all the stress of being the Queen of France. The hamlet had cottages that were furnished to Her Majesty's liking. This hamlet also functioned as a working farm and used effectively for agriculture. Visiting Versailles was amazing. A full day of stepping back in time and walking the same path as royalty did. This small trip to Versailles was totally worth venturing out of Paris for the day. As we strolled hand in hand along the Seine River and gazing deeply into each other's eyes, we couldn't think of a better way to leave a token of our love but to hook a love lock with our initials on it to the bridge. Throwing the lock into the Seine River made it permanent, hoping to keep our love strong through the years to come. A fun tradition to partake while in Paris.
Sorry. I'm eating the salade parisienne, which is the French salad. It's supposed to be their specialty. I'm doing a shot.
How is it?
It's pretty good, but I'm just not sure if I wanted this again.
Why is that?
Just the taste is completely different. I've never eaten anything like this before, so it's good, but it's not my favorite. It's not something I would like wake up in the morning and say I want to eat this again.
Interesting.
So one time it's good enough for me.
Okay. Bon appetit.
Oh, bon appetit.
Okay. So I got me some frog legs because I get to eat all my weird food here in France. So,
Yuck.
I actually do recommend these. They're actually fabulous. And they taste like chicken. Gotta be careful of the bones though. They're a little delicate, crunchy, but it is delish, very delish. I highly recommend this.
They just changed new sheets
ever. It was another amazing evening in Paris, and the looks of it, Alfred Volpain had a good one also. Besides the Eiffel Tower, when I think of Paris, I also think of the Louvre. Once a fortress in the late 12th century, is now a massive museum with 70,000 pieces of art spread across 650,000 square feet of gallery space. These are the artifacts from Napoleon III's apartment. The museum houses an enormous wealth of treasures from all over the world. We had one day to cover it, so we did our best to visit what we thought would be our highlights and don't miss exhibits. Arc de Triomphe, a monument honoring those who fought during the Napoleonic Wars and those that fought in the French Revolutionary War. This beautiful monument is positioned right in the middle of 12 avenues named after French military leaders at the end of Champs-Élysées. The observation deck on top of the arc has the most amazing views of Paris. Finally getting to visit this famous Gothic cathedral, I couldn't help but think of the story about the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The story was actually written to increase appreciation for the building that was built in 1163 and 1345. It's open free of charge every day of the year during opening hours. Since it's still a functioning Catholic church, the tone is quiet and respectful while inside. Our Lady of Paris attracts 13 million visitors each year. Although we love the Latin Quarter, Montmartre is another place we fell in love with. This is where Vincent van Gogh and Pablo Picasso were inspired and spent their time being surrounded by its beautiful architecture. For our short day of exploration, we did allot ourselves to go to the Basilica of Sacre-Coeur, also known as the Sacred Heart of Paris. And be respectful, don't swim, don't drink the water, or flash dance in the fountains. It's time to get our last French hot chocolate, some needed shopping, and of course, our last French meal. Although we saw a lot of Paris, there's still so much of her we missed. We could have spent more time here, but it's time to move on. Stay tuned for our adventures in Belgium.